Okay, I will start recording as well. Hello, Mr. Lau. This is Philippe from
Hi.
TajiMag. Welcome. You are one of the hosts of the popular show, or soon to be popular show on NBC, Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge. Let me ask you, what inspired you to pursue a career in this field? And then how did you get involved with Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge?
Yeah, so I've always been someone who liked to draw. I kind of think that kids grow up as designers naturally, whether they know it or not. We like to tinker with things and take things apart and build. And I just grew up having a passion for that, and it never stopped. I know there comes an age when kids kind of stop drawing or maybe stop tinkering, but I never had that gap in my time. I was always drawing, I was always building and taking things apart, despite my parents' disapproval. So that kind of snowballed into a career in design. And later on, through my undergrad design experience, I kind of realized that I loved cars, and I never understood that there was an actual career path to do that. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. They don't realize that you can go and become a car designer or someone in automotive. So once I was empowered to search that out, that's really what got me started. I ended up going to grad school and studying transportation, and it was just history from there.
Okay. And what has your experience been like one of the very few women, Black women, oh, sorry, women of color in this field? I know you have mentioned in previous articles that you met very few women. So just give
Mhm.
us more details about how it's been so far in the field.
Right. Well, automotive is a very male dominated industry. Design itself, luckily, is about 50-50. There are a lot of women in design broadly, but in automotive design, there's much fewer of us. So it's been really difficult. Throughout my schooling, I was one, if not sometimes the only Black woman or the only woman I saw. Um, and even in my professional career, I was oftentimes the only woman in the room, especially if we're doing something like physical design or something that's strictly automotive related. So that's been really difficult and really disheartening. And it's hard to understand why, because I know so many Black women and so many women of color, so many women in general who are interested in automotive and interested in these things that are seen as male dominated or seen as, boys' hobbies. So it's been really disheartening, but I see that there is a that's changing in the industry, and I hope that in my lifetime I see us get closer to that 50-50 split.
Okay, good. So as a designer, what challenges do you face in creating cars that perform well as well look visually aesthetically pleasing?
Sorry, one more time.
So what are some of the challenges that you face in making
Right.
a nice car that looks good visually and also perform well?
Right, that's a great question. So I'm an experienced designer. So I have the luxury of not having to think about how well a car performs on the road or on the track. Luckily, I get to let our very talented engineering partners have the burden of figuring that out. But I will say it does become difficult sometimes when maybe there are feature sets or designs that you'd like to add that kind of go against the performance of a vehicle, or it might go against the cost effectiveness of a vehicle. So sometimes those two concepts do butt heads a little bit. The most aesthetically pleasing car isn't always the most aerodynamic. So there is that kind of challenge. And those two concepts will butt heads occasionally. And you'll see that in the design or automotive profession where the designers and the engineers can go head to head sometimes. So yeah, the challenge is just reckoning those two things and making sure that they can play in harmony with each other.
Okay. Let's get to your show here. So how do you approach the creative process of Hot Wheels Challenge? Because you have your co-host Rutledge and Hurt. Like what all goes into developing this show or putting this show together?
We wake up every morning with a smile on our face. Honestly, that's the thing that really keeps the show running. I don't know if you've ever met Rutledge Wood and Hertrude Eugene Jr., but they are the most playful, just adult children I've ever met. So they wake up every morning real giddy, real ready to go, Red Bull in hand, and just ready to party. We're filming long hours throughout the week, almost every day, and that can be really tiring, but we love what we do. And we get to sit around and look at cars all day, some really classic, really iconic vehicles, and then get to watch people's dreams come true and watch them recognize these really incredible designs day after day. When I tell you, from day one, they have already transformed the vehicle. It's insane to see that. And so there's never a boring day on set, you know? It's always so exciting.
Okay. You have a favorite episode or a so that's most memorable to you?
Oh, I think of the episodes that have filmed so far or have aired so far, the episodes that have aired so far, I think Arushi's Jaipur Jewel was one of my favorite builds. But tonight's episode, or at least the day that we're filming this, is going to be a Monte Carlo versus a Dodge Caravan. And that's a really fun episode because these cars, I mean, this is probably one of the wildest transformations so far in the season. So I'm really excited for people to see this one because when I tell you, party is an understatement. This one's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of dancing.
All right. So how do the contestants, how do they balance the classic Hot Wheels style and bringing their fresh take on it? How do you think they do it, and how do you judge upon,
Yeah.
these?
You know, I don't envy what they have to do because they really do take this iconic classic car, something that they grew up with, and they have to completely transform it. And that cannot be easy. To take something like a 69 Charger, which is a dream car for so many people, and then have to transform it and cut it up when honestly it's kind of perfect as is. That's something that a lot of our contestants kind of run up against, where it's like, okay, I have this car that I already thought was beautiful. How could I possibly make this better? So it's hard to meet that task. It's hard to meet that challenge of really transforming something when you already loved the original so much. So it's been fun watching them try to, work their brain to figure out how they could even possibly make something better. So that's been something that was challenging for a lot of our contestants, is balancing that transformation versus celebrating what the car already looks like. But it's fun when they do it well. Like some people have really, really executed it, and that's been fun to watch. And as far as how we judge them, well, we have a list of criteria, which includes the transformation and their personal story and how much of that we see in the build, the Hot Wheels iconic design elements, things like loud, vibrant colors. Does it look fast? Does it look bold? Does it look epic? Those are the things that we're looking for.
So who would you like to see on the show without giving anything away? Who would be your two favorite, like your dream contestants, and then who would you like to work with, and who would you pair Hurt with?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I feel like it's going to be a cheat, but Hurt would have to work with T-Pain because they're already doing the Nappy Boy Automotive, and I think T-Pain would be such a great contestant. And I would love to have, oh, you know who would be great? Nicole Byer, who's already done a few TV shows. And I know she's a huge like car enthusiast, which people don't know this about her, but I just think she's such a great personality. And I would love to see her on the show. She'd be on my team. We'd kill it for sure.
Yeah, she's fun. I interviewed her last year. She's definitely that would definitely be interesting to see. So
Uh-huh.
hopefully we can get that to happen. Hopefully.
Her in this article when it comes out, Nicole, if you're watching, please come on the show.
Um, so can you tell us about the specific design elements and or features that well, I'm sorry, what do you think is most appealing to young viewers about this show?
Yeah, I think what's most appealing to young viewers and broadly maybe people who haven't really worked on cars is that it's not necessarily a gearhead show. It's a show about transformation. So it's a show about doing something that's super imaginative, that's super wild and crazy. And I think kids really love seeing these bold, bright colors, thinking outside the box and doing something that you wouldn't normally see done to a car or you wouldn't see on the road. So I think kids, because they have such large imaginations, I feel like they are the perfect audience for this show.
Okay. And so you expect to see some more women and women of color in this field What advice do you have for the young women who are watching or who aspire to be in your same field?
Wow, I would say to those young women, never stop doing what you're doing. Keep drawing, keep looking at inspiration, look for other women who have done what I'm doing or even better. There are so many women in automotive that are incredibly inspiring. One of them being the woman who designed the NSX, which is, I think, the first supercar to be designed by a woman. Like, that's incredible. And people like that and stories like that I find incredibly inspiring. So there is a way uh, to get into automotive. There is a way to be a designer. There is a way to break into these male-dominated spaces. So never stop. And being unique and being different in the room is your superpower.
Okay. My final question, what is your dream car and what is the perfect shoes to wear? Because I saw your post earlier about your loafers not driving loafers.
Yeah. You said, what is my favorite car? Well,
Yeah, what's your dream car? Like if you
oh,
could
my car.
car, yeah,
Oh,
and what would you do to it? And then the shoes, you gotta tell me the shoes.
okay. My dream car is a Ferrari Testarossa. And then my shoes, I'm gonna have to bring it back to like the original Michael Jordan, Jordan ones, because he has a Ferrari Testarossa. And so if I do the red and white, it would kind of match the red and white of the Ferrari.
Okay.
That's a combo.
What color? What it would be red? The
Oh
Ferrari.
yeah. Red Ferrari, white interior to match the red and white shoe. Very important.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time out for this interview. And I know people are loving it. I love it. It made me think about my favorite Hot Wheels car, which is the purple 1985 Dragon. I used to have it. I don't have it.
Nice. That's a good one. I love that.
All right. Well, thank you and have a good evening. And I will tag you.
Thank you.
Take a clip of this and show it to give people
No, of
the
course not.
article. Okay, I
Yeah,
will
go
do that. Thank you very
ahead.
much.
Good talking to you. Bye.
Thank you, David.